The OnePlus 8 Pro is OnePlus's most expensive, most feature-rich phone to date. It marks the transition from the good old flagship killer OnePlus to the new flagship selling OnePlus. I was very excited for this phone as soon as it was launched, and that was mostly because of how much I loved its predecessor, the OnePlus 7 Pro. But hold up here. This is not going to be a regular review because this device is facing a widespread issue where most of the buyers, including myself, are receiving defective displays. We will talk more about that towards the end, but for now, let's talk about the other aspects of this phone. The parts that OnePlus didn't mess up, the parts that got overshadowed thanks to the large hue and cry around the display. I'm Rohan, this is TechieTechTech, and here we go. When I first picked up the ultramarine blue OnePlus 8 Pro, I had two immediate first impressions. First, the satin finish on this color feels amazingly premium in hand. It's a huge step up from a glossy glass finish, not only in terms of looks but also in terms of in-hand feel. My second first impression was that the curves on the display are way too steep now. It's a bit hard to explain, but you will truly experience it when you first go hands-on with this phone. It is not a gradual curve like the OnePlus 7 Pro, but a more steep and immediate curve. The buttons are all very clicky, and it's just great to have a mute slider on board. Even the IP68 dust and water resistance, a first for OnePlus, is really nice to have. Overall, I absolutely love the build quality on this phone. It feels as premium as any other flagship phone, looks as premium as any other flagship phone, and is a far cry from the mid-range build quality that OnePlus devices used to have previously. Now this would usually be the point where we talked about the display in the review, but since that's where all the controversy is, let's move it to the end. Let's talk about the performance. I said it in my OnePlus 8 review and I'll say it again. 4 words. Oxygen OS, Snapdragon 865. This thing flies. It flies through whatever you put at it. I'm not even kidding. I tried really hard to notice some frame drop or some lag or some app crash, but it just doesn't happen. This thing is the epitome of a performance beast with its flagship processor, fast internal storage, and a massive 12GB of RAM. For all you PUBG lovers, this is definitely, hands down, the best PUBG experience I have ever had on an Android phone. Even other intense games like Fortnite and Call of Duty and Asphalt run brilliantly. Now there was some lag with Candy Crush, but that is a way too demanding game, so I won't hold it against OnePlus. Moving on to what is definitely the biggest improvement from other OnePlus phones, let's talk cameras. The OnePlus 8 Pro sports a brand new sensor for the primary camera with a larger pixel size. Other upgrades include an improved ultra-wide and an extra 5 megapixel color filter camera. Now let's talk about the photos first and we'll move on to the videography aspect later. The primary camera takes excellent pictures in all situations. It's basically a far cry from the mediocre camera of previous OnePlus phones. For shooting all sorts of pictures, whether it's landscape, indoors or low light, the 8 Pro has never disappointed us at all. The main areas of improvement include autofocus speed, color rendering and HDR processing. The color accuracy is best experienced outdoors, and I was honestly blown away by how better it was compared to other OnePlus phones. The telephoto lens has improved in terms of sharpness and stabilization, but has minor noise processing bugs. Another major improvement can be seen in the ultra-wide angle camera, which has less chromatic aberration and captures wider shots than the last year's flagships. The built-in filters are perfect and make up for any sort of basic post-processing. The macro mode takes sharper pictures than previous generations and is a far cry from the macro camera on the much cheaper OnePlus Nord. The portrait mode has improved from last year in terms of sharpness and color rendering. The controversial photochrome filter takes incredible stills, especially outdoors. As a matter of fact, I actually ended up setting one of those sample shots as my laptop's wallpaper. I'd have loved to see that in the video mode, but unfortunately, we do not have that yet. The selfies from the front-facing camera have improved from last year thanks to better HDR processing and color rendering. But one weird finding that I found is the reduced field of view when compared to the OnePlus 7 Pro. The 8 Pro's front camera has a narrower field of view, so if you want to take a group selfie or want to take more of the background, you'll have to move the phone further away from your face. But overall, the core picture quality is better than the OnePlus 7 Pro. Now, low light performance is incredible thanks to the updated noise processing and larger pixel size. Both the primary lens and the ultra wide angle lens take amazing stills in low light. Moving to the videography aspect, the primary lens shoots excellent videos, especially in 4K outdoors with well exposed and accurate colors. The ultra wide angle also delivers a similar video performance. The telephoto lens is sharp but has some autofocus and switching issues. Sometimes it skips frames or loses focus while shooting. It's quite probably a software bug and will get a fix sooner or later. The indoor performance has also improved in terms of sharpness and colors compared to previous generations. There is a dedicated HDR video mode which gives you a bit more dynamic range but is limited to the primary lens only. The super stable mode has upgraded from last year and the footage looks amazing without any jitters and rolling shutter. Some worth mentioning features include the subtle photo filters that are also present in the video mode except for the photochrome filter. Videos shot in the Cine mode look wonderful on both the phone and larger displays. The low light video has some minor improvements, but the autofocus is a bit slow. Now overall, will I call it a great smartphone camera? Absolutely. But is it a flagship smartphone camera? Definitely. This is the first time that OnePlus has included a camera module in their phones which is flagship level, and I can truly say that buying a OnePlus phone now does not mean that you will have to sacrifice on the camera quality. Apart from the minor inconveniences of telephoto and ultra wide angle lenses, I can certainly say that the camera performance of the OnePlus 8 Pro is incredible and can easily compete with other flagships which are in most cases way more expensive. Moving on, the fingerprint sensor on the OnePlus 8 Pro is great. Very reliable, very fast, very accurate, no complaints. The stereo speakers are excellent with clear sound that can get loud enough. Even the calling experience on this phone is excellent. It can hold on to a signal really well, and in my test calls, the person I was talking to confirmed that my voice came through very clear and I could hear great with the earpiece too. So a big thumbs up for the excellent calling experience, because this is something that was a hit or a miss on previous OnePlus phones. Wireless charging is another thing that was missing on previous OnePlus phones but is included here. And OnePlus went all in with fast warp wireless charging and reverse wireless charging as well. But do keep in mind that you will have to buy a separate OnePlus wireless charger to get the fast warp charging option enabled. Talking about battery life, it is amazing. I was actually shocked at how good it was. This is most definitely the best battery life I have seen in a 120Hz phone. In my mid to heavy usage, full of social media, texting, video watching and gaming, I could easily go without charging for 1.5 to even 2 days. If I switch to 60Hz and use the phone conservatively, I am confident that I can make it last for 3 full days without charging. It is really that good. Of course, there is the fast warp charging as well, which is such a pleasure to have, especially when you're in a rush, and I truly miss it when I move to some other phone from a OnePlus phone. Now, finally, let's talk about the display. I will not talk about the issues in detail here since I already have a video on that, but here I want to talk more about living with these issues. Firstly, I just want to make it clear that I do not think a fix is coming anytime soon. It has been months since the phone went on sale and the issues were discovered, and if OnePlus was actually going to fix them, they would have at least put out a message that they were working on it. See, overall the display is great. In most scenarios, the issues are not noticeable and it works great with good colors and buttery smooth 120Hz refresh rate. Even in the lowest brightness, I personally had to squint and look for the issues to find them, except for some black crush which was honestly impossible to miss. Now, technically, it is really easy to ignore these issues. It is still terrible on OnePlus's part to ship defective displays on such a large scale with such poor quality control, and this is in no way me defending OnePlus, but what I want to say here is that while the issues do exist, you can ignore them and continue to enjoy everything else about this phone, especially if you have already bought one. There is no need to regret now. Of course, if you're looking to buy one and are confused about the display issues, I would highly recommend waiting for the OnePlus 8T Pro because I'm very confident that OnePlus will fix all these issues in that phone. If you're confident that you will not mind the display issues and really want the OnePlus 8 Pro without waiting, only then will I recommend that you get the OnePlus 8 Pro now. But I would just like to repeat that if you're one of those users who already have the 8 Pro, there is no need to feel sad about your decision, and it would be better to just ignore the issues and enjoy what is good about this phone, which, as you must have seen in this review, is a lot. To conclude, yes, the OnePlus 8 Pro is an amazing value for money flagship which offers almost everything you could ask for in a premium smartphone. For everyone who has said in the past that I love the OnePlus phone but I wish it had this feature or I wish it did not miss that feature, the OnePlus 8 Pro is the perfect answer. It is a complete package, and had it not been for the display issues, it would have been the perfect phone at the perfect price. This has been Rohan from TechieTechTech. Please subscribe, share and like if you enjoyed the video. Do chime in with your views in the comment section below. I will be replying to everyone. Until then, I will see you in the next video. Bye.